by Stephen Bateson. Billy Joe Saunders put on a masterclass to retain his WBO Middleweight Championship, outboxing David Lemieux over 12 rounds in Quebec, Canada on Saturday night. It was seen as Saunders' most difficult challenge to date, but in reality he made the big-hitting Lemieux look desperately amateurish at times as he cantered to a sensationally one-sided unanimous decision on enemy territory, sending out a message to the rest of the middleweight division that he is indeed ready for anyone at 160 pounds. Saunders promised to school his Canadian opponent, and that is exactly what he did, outclassing Lemieux from start to finish to earn his most impressive career victory. There was no danger signs, not even the remotest of clean punches landed from Lemieux in the entire fight, as he was forced to chase shadows from the first bell to the last. Lemieux started the fight in the same vein as always and attempted to ram raid and destroy Saunders, but he could not pin down the Brit at any time, Saunders using his jab effectively before bobbing out of range again and out of the danger zone. A left hook from Saunders at the end of round 2 caught Lemieux's attention, but the challenger could not answer back with anything of his own. He was already cutting a forlorn figure. Saunders was showboating through round 3 as he enjoyed the disgruntlement of Lemieux's fans before teeing off with effective au-net-wo combinations, once again disengaging and evading straight after getting off his own shots. A left uppercut and a right hand around the guard in round 4 stunned Lemieux again, but once more he had no answers, no way of firing back against an opponent whose footwork was just too sublime. The jab was reddening Lemieux's face through midway, and then a left-right combination in round 7 had him staggering into the ropes. The crowd sensed the danger as a Saunders left then busted up the nose and mouth of the challenger, further cementing the domination that was being witnessed. It was an exhibition in total control from Saunders, erasing any doubt beforehand that he could hang tough at his level, and even though Lemieux continued to chase him, in reality, he was hitting nothing but fresh air as frustration turned to desperation and then in turn to hopelessness. The crowd got mildly excited by 2 late punches in round 11 from Lemieux, but they made no dent in Saunders. A complete lack of energy in the challenger made his shots practically redundant, and by the final round he was back to playing catch-up. Saunders danced his way to victory whilst Lemieux made his way back to corner, bruised and bloody, but his ego will have been dented much more than his face. Billy Joe Saunders puts himself on the middleweight map with this victory, utterly bamboozling a foe they claimed was at least an equal if not a favorite with some bookmakers. He deserves the big fights now and will be in line to square off against either Canelo Alvarez or Gennady Golovkin sometime in 2018. Scorecards read 120,108, 117,111, 118,110. O'Sullivan stuns Douglas. Gary Spike O'Sullivan upset the odds as he knocked out Antoine Douglas in 7 rounds to win the WBO Intercontinental Middleweight Championship in what was a highly entertaining fight. Douglas started the fight brightly and was using his range advantage and speed to nip in and out of exchanges, jabbing to the body of O'Sullivan and teeing off to the head of his opponent as he marched forward, although O'Sullivan was always there in his face and landing blows of his own. O'Sullivan was relentless in his approach, and although he lost the first 3 rounds, it was clear that he was closing the gap on Douglas and landed a few more warning shots to his younger foe. In round 4 O'Sullivan was beginning to find more success with his right hand, and it was clear that Douglas's movement was slowing quite dramatically, opting instead to stand within punching distance of Spike and try his chances in the trade-offs. The frequency and impact of O'Sullivan's right hand was increasing through rounds 5 and 6 to the degree where Douglas's breathing was now very noticeable. No longer was he quicker or able to dance in out of the range, and the change in each corner's outlook was obvious. O'Sullivan went looking for his younger American opponent in round 7, and a heavy barrage of punches on the ropes sent Douglas to the deck, caught up in the ropes as he fell under serious duress. Douglas should have been waved off there, but the referee allowed him to stand, meaningless really as the glazed-over look in Douglas's eyes was enough to prove he had no right in continuing. Corks O'Sullivan is heavy-handed and fan-friendly. Expect to see him in another big fight in spring 2018. Ulysses exposes Seldon. Eve Ulyss Jr. took the undefeated record of Cletus Seldon during a one-sided beatdown, Seldon hitting the canvas 3 times in the first 3 rounds on the way to a wide unanimous decision. Seldon, who had 17 KOs from 21 unbeaten, was heavily fancied due to his heavy hands, but he had no answer for the hand speed, footwork and precision punching of the hometown Ulyss. Seldon was rocked in one and then squared up his feet, throwing caution to wind, and chose to trade with Ulyss before succumbing to a big right hand and left hook cross. Round 2 saw the New Yorker on the deck again after Ulyss nailed a left jab, right hook off the ropes, and he was then punched around the ring for the remainder of the 3 minutes as he looked in danger of being taken out. Seldon's tactic was clear: seek and destroy, but he was telegraphing every single move and put on the canvas once more in round 3 as Ulis abandoned his counter-punching style to go hunting for his opponent. Cletus Seldon was exposed here by his inability to deal with a moving target. The effort and desire to catch his opponent was there, but against Ulis he was not facing a static foe and therefore could not make use of his best, and only, weapon. As the fight progressed, Seldon complained to the referee and made his frustration known that Ulis would not indulge him in a firefight, but in reality all he did was highlight his and his team's lack of plan B in the face of adversity. Ulis, who coasted rounds 4 through 7, decided to put his foot back on the gas in rounds 8 and 9 and could not miss with his right hand. Time and again he bounced it off the skull of Seldon. The final round was arguably the most one-sided of all as Ulis turned up the heat and entertained his home fans with a constant shellacking of Seldon, who in fairness showed immense bravery. Seldon will be an entertaining fight so long as his opponent meets him in the pocket for a brawl, but otherwise he will always be in danger against any kind of foe that moves in and out of range. Ulis moves to 151 as a professional and will be a hard night's work for anyone between 140,000 and 147 pounds. Scorecards read 9,988 by 3 undercard roundup. Highly rated Ryan Garcia. Success: he defended his NABF Super Featherweight Championship by taking out Noe Martinez Ragosa in the 8th and final round. Martinez took a knee after eating a solid uppercut and then a flurry from the Californian. Although he managed to beat the count, he was soon undone by another combination, stopped on his feet by a merciful ref. Garcia, now 130 with 12 KOs, looks to have a bright future in the sport and will be one to win as he progresses. Big punching Canadian Stephen Butler destroyed the veteran Leonardo Tyner with a devastating second-round right-hand uppercut. Butler, now 2,111 with 18 KOs, detonated the thunderous punch toward the end of the second, and although Tyner made it to his feet, he could not hold himself up, and was in no position to continue. Tyner has mixed in very good company over the years, but this is the first time he has ever been stopped in 12 defeats. Double Olympic gold medalist Nicola Adams showcased herself on foreign soil for the first time as a professional, dismantling Soledad Macedo in the 3rd round of a scheduled 6. Adams displayed terrific punch variation and demonstrated she is likely to make waves in the pros just like she did as an amateur. Uruguay's Macedo was game enough but was no match for Adams as the referee waved the bout off after Adams, now 30 with 2 KOs, pinned her foe on the ropes and just teed off with crunching efficiency. Men's heavyweight Simon Keane def. Mike Shepard 2nd round TKO. Men's super lightweight Matthew Germain def. Juan Garcia Mendez 8th round UD. Women's light flyweight Kim Clavel def. Jocelyn Martinez Jose 4th round UD.